A year ago, I'd never heard of a perpetual journal. I was introduced to the concept last April when visiting my friend Jill Richards in Wales. Each week, over a period of 3 years, she added an entry, a flowering plant from her own garden. I was both fascinated and overwhelmed by the idea of such a journal. Upon returning home, I ordered 2 Stillman and Byrne Zeta sketchbooks, as she had recommended. I needed 2 because I wanted each week of the year to be a double-page spread. One sketchbook was for January through June, the other for July through December. To be honest, I was a bit terrified to begin. I delayed the inevitable by researching arts and crafts fonts to use on my pages. Calligraphy was the next weakness I planned to strengthen, and I'd been inspired by the lettering I'd recently seen. Charles Rennie Mackintosh used beautiful lettering on his architectural drawings that were part of the Glasgow 4 exhibition at Walker Gallery in Liverpool last year. Working so carefully and slowly is not typical for me. I prefer to let my pen and brush glide along the paper, swooping and dipping as in a dance. Slowly, carefully observing and drawing as meticulously as I could was foreign to me. I learned to choose a plant that I would be happy exploring for at least 30 very concentrated minutes, often longer. I learned to draw the lettering in ahead of time. The lettering alone took at least an hour to complete. Though I've meditated daily since the age of 14, my Perpetual plant journal introduced me to another form of meditation, one that I believe is quite useful to replenish optimism, awe, and well-being during this challenging time of isolation as we attempt to slow the spread of the coronavirus. Perhaps this is a good time for you to start a perpetual journal of some sort. It might be plants, architecture, family memorabilia, or objects in your home. I suggest you work from the actual objects, but if you prefer to work from photographs, that's fine too. There is no rush. Next year, you'll add something new to each week's entry. The challenge will be a bit different because you'll work it around the drawing you have already done on that page. Take your time. You saw that I didn't always complete the drawing I started. That's okay too. Sometimes I would draw it in one sitting and add color the next day. I allowed the journal to become a new thread that I wove into the fabric of my week. I look back now and I see that I've almost met up with the beginning. I'll be starting my 2nd year in a couple of months. When I began, I wasn't sure I'd make it to the 2nd month, let alone make it through all 4 seasons of the year. It's been a joy and a rewarding experience that continues to challenge and delight me. I'm Chris Carter. Thank you for joining me.